come with us.
So we thought we might as well start with one of the most iconic sets in all of cinema.
You see these doors, you know where you're going.
Home.
After you. Anyway, so welcome to the Hogwarts Great Hall.
This was the first set that we filmed on in the entire series, and the scene when all the characters first walk in the first movie, they're all awestruck. That was literally what we were all like the first time we walked onto this stage.
And we always used to call them Great Hall Days. Funny that, but we used to call it Great Hall Days because that was when all these tables, there'll be two more here, which would house Hufflepuff and Gryffindor, and they would be full with students. You had the teachers at the top end as well, and there'd be such a buzz about the place going on as we were just sat here eating real food most of the time, but also doing some of our own homework from school, which we'd come down here and pretend to do on set. Come with us this way, because on this side we will see the progression of the Hogwarts uniform. We have here the first two movies when, if you notice, everyone wore hats. Then you've got...
I burnt my hat.
You burnt your hat? Oh, you almost threw it in the flambeau?
Yeah. So
Did the
when
whole
everyone celebrated, they
graduation.
threw it off. I actually threw mine in one of the flambeaus and it burnt.
And then if you notice from the third film, the uniform got a bit more school-like, a bit more scruffy, didn't it? Ties were left undone, shirts were left untucked. All very, very cool stuff. And that was where the different directors had their different say in what people wore. What we got? Hanging candles, which they did actually do in the first two movies, but then they decided probably best not have live flames above a load of school children. So they didn't. They put them on as computer animation after that. But as you can see, they've got lovely candles here today. Well, and we've also got here outfits. We have Snape, we have Hagrid, we have Dumbledore, and we have Professor McGonagall. So this is where we first really see the teachers all lined up on the top there. I'm going to do this because I'm on camera. And we have the school uniform, we've got the school choir sitting up here singing Something Wicked This Way Comes. And we had these great frogs what used to go with that, and the costume that Warwick Davis here wore when he was Flitwick. Then, in the very top corner there, if you can see right at the back there, we can see the points for the House Cup, the all-important House Cup, which, let's face it, Gryffindor ran away with a couple of times, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. Ravenclaw need to up their game, don't they?
They do. And then, even if you see the detail that goes into the studio tour to make it as real as possible, you probably won't see it when you're on the tour because it's all roped off and you've got the choir here. They've even set the teachers' dining outfits out, and you will see, right, not that there's, favouritism going on, but they're allowed fancy glassware with the Hogwarts logo on. Come this way.
And perks of being the head teacher.
And perks of the head teacher, Dumbledore. I mean, if you're going to be a boss, you might as well let everyone know it.
Now, did you know Gringotts Bank, where we are right now, was originally filmed in Australia House in London for the first movie. That's the first time you see it. But for the Deathly Hallows, when it appears there, they built the set. And here we are. All down here, obviously, if you remember, we're full of goblins. And
Nasty
some of them, not the nicest chaps.
Nasty little buggers. You wouldn't really go there for a good chat, but then again, sometimes you go to a bank and you met with the same service. Anyway, let's have a look what we've got here. If you gaze your eyes northwards, you will see an amazing chandelier. Ooh, shiny. Do you know how many are on there? A lot of crystals. Lots and lots of crystals. But anyways, you come down this set. Now, we didn't actually film on this set, so to be able to come down here and look at it now, it's actually really, really awe-inspiring because they obviously tell you here how it's made, how the pillars are made, how the Marvel effects made. Also, you see the handiwork here of Nick Dugman and the team who did all the prosthetics on Potter. And they're awesome. Just like the aged goblin here, played by Rusty. So yes, this was another chap who you probably wouldn't want to come to and say, excuse me, could do with an extension on the mortgage, or excuse me, what loan rates can you give me?
No, but one last thing before we show you elsewhere on the studio tour. Something which I like to do pretty much at any Harry Potter set, just to keep my mind sane. This should be, this is solid marble, right? It's hollow, it's fake.
So now, as you can tell, we're on Diagon Alley, outside the world-famous Gringotts Bank. But that's not the first thing that we actually filmed on when we were here.
No, it's not. No, we first came onto Diagon Alley when we were in the Chamber of Secrets, and we went to this lovely bookshop. But before we get there, a lot of people said to us, were the sets just window dressed and that's it? Well, actually, they weren't. If you actually went inside them, there's actually things already inside. So, whilst we're filming in Flourish and Bolts, if you remember, that's where Lockhart was doing his book signing. Whilst we were filming in there, we went over the road, literally, to Quality Quidditch Supplies.
Where you can see they've got the flying, stunning Nimbus 2001 there in the window with different type of bludgers going on here. Obviously, being Beaters ourselves, we wanted to see what was going on there. But they've updated it a bit as well as the films went on, because you can see the new Hufflepuff outfit over there, which is, I think, from the 6th movie is when that one came into it. But
Talking of the 6th movie.
Now, I know we're slightly biased when we say this.
This is the best set in the entire wizarding world.
Anywhere. And it starts off right here at Wheezes, Wizarding Wheezes, which is the go-to place if you wanted to get anything to basically cause a bit of mischief. And these were our costumes from those films, tailored in France, by the way. And it just shows off everything. But the cool thing about this set, like we said before, is that there was the interior as well, was actually linked to it. So you would go into the set through the front door, and I can just remember having the most amazing time on that set.
It was. I also posed for this model of Fred. I think that's who it was, because I posed for it, for the actual caricature version of, and it wasn't CGI or anything like that. A real rabbit pops up every other time the top hat moves.
Welcome to King's Cross Station. Now, if you notice, here is George Weasley's trunk, and I remember pushing this around at King's Cross. But if you look further up, there is a cage. In that cage, without telling me, was a live rat. Myself hates rats.
Rupert Grint and myself thought it'd be absolutely hilarious for them to actually put a real-life rat in there.
Yeah, and then they got said rat out.
But obviously, we're at platform 9 3/4, which means one thing.
The Hogwarts Express, locomotive number 5972, made in 1937, did you know? Did you know that?
You read the sign, didn't you?
Shh.
Yeah.
Anyway, as you can tell, it's all ready for Hogwarts Castle, gleaming and everything like that. But I tell you what is another cool thing to do while you're here at platform 9 3/4, the Warner Bros. Studio tour here in London. The making of Harry Potter. Look at this. So everyone gets their photos. Cut.
Is that good?
I think that's how they do it.
Well,
Anyway.
I'd have said that one other bit of did you know fact, our first ever scene in a movie, our first ever take, anything we ever did in a film, was in a train compartment for the Hogwarts Express. The last scene of the first movie, that was the first thing we ever shot.
At Goku train station.
Train's going, time to go.
Time to go.
So, come and join us on board the Hogwarts Express. Welcome on board the Hogwarts Express. Now, all these carriages were actually used whilst we're filming. The frosted glass from the 3rd movie when the Dementors came in, and if you look in this carriage right here, you'll see Harry's stuff. So, Ron's jumper's right there, Harry's top's there, some Bertie Pott's every flavoured beans, and obviously where Hedwig used to sit as well.
Daily Prophet headline, terror at the Quidditch World Cup. That was a bad day, wasn't it?
It was a bad day, wasn't it?
Welcome to the Gryffindor Common Room.
The cosiest set on the entire Harry Potter series, and I know this because quite a few of us fell asleep on that very sofa.
Right there, even though the fireplace wasn't necessarily belting out flames, it was still a very cosy set. And I think also because you've got obviously all the drapes and everything added in, just added to it.
We had a lot of fun filming here in the Goblet of Fire
Way.
when Harry wins the golden egg,
Yes.
which you had to pick Dan up and
On our
on
shoulders.
our shoulders.
La 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 la. And you may not know this fact by watching at it, but you see this portrait over there, the lady there is a very young Professor McGonagall. As we keep moving along the tour, we go from the Gryffindor Common Room to
The Slytherin.
Common Room, which just goes to show actually, they're quite similar.
They got leather there.
They've got some lovely,
You'd stick to that sofa. It's leather and
hot day.
yeah,
Yeah, good.
cozy, not so
Just about.
cozy. Dumbledore's office. Just imagine we've climbed a lot of stairs to get here. But there's Dumbledore looking down. Fawkes, the Phoenix,